if someone starts doing something different or something new, becoming more successful, they're likely to get comments like, oh, she thinks she's better than us, or she thinks she's better than everyone else. It's just like disgusting when you think of it, like that people discourage being different and discourage diversity. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel if you're already subscribed. My name is Maren and I make psychology and philosophy inspired videos, kind of like self-improvement stuff. I also like to document my pole dancing journey. I just totally forgot what this video was about for a second there. First of all, obviously you guys can see I'm back in Norway. That's one announcement, if you guys didn't know that. Oh, I thought that was my like focus thing. And I thought I'd let you guys know, and I get like butterflies in my stomach even just saying this because I'm like, am I gonna be able to do this? But I really want to do 1 week of videos, like videos every day. Maybe it's gonna be 5 days, like every weekday, or maybe it's gonna be like actually 7 days, because I want to get like a jump start to my channel, because like I have said in I think my last video, or no, not my last video, the video where I was explaining why I haven't been posting that much. I just feel like I kind of fell off the bandwagon because I was going for stuff, blah blah blah. You guys have heard it, I don't want to like keep repeating that. I'll link the video, I'll try to put it here or whatever you do, plug it, of me explaining that or whatever. Fuck, I can hear my mom. I get distracted. Anyways, so stay tuned for that. There's gonna be videos hopefully every day starting today. This video is gonna be posted on a Monday, and then next video will be Tuesday. The videos will be of all sorts of varieties, probably some psychology, some philosophy, also I think some beauty related ones, just anything really that I feel like doing. However, let's get into today's video. However, let's get into today's video. So today's video is actually going to be on Norwegian culture. I'm actually thinking on making more videos about Norwegian culture. If you guys have any questions about that, like about Norwegian culture and stuff, or video suggestions regarding that, let me know. Today's going to be on what is called in Norwegian Janteloven. The English translation is just Law of Jante. Law of Jante, I don't even know how you say it in English, but it's basically this law. It was articulated by, I have notes there, by Aksel Sandemose, or Aksel Sandemose. I don't know how to say Norwegian names in English. I think he's Danish actually. Aksel Sandemose. He basically, I think it was like supposed to be satire, or supposed to like be funny, but he was actually articulating this kind of underlying social law that are in Scandinavian cultures, and particularly, I think he was from Denmark. I should probably fact check this shit. I was looking at a Wikipedia page. My brain, when I go back to Norway, it's just like reboot. Jesus. Okay. I haven't filmed in a long time also, so I'm like not used to it, I guess. Anyways, Wikipedia, I'm gonna put the link to it yesterday. I'm gonna put the link to the Wikipedia page down below in the description, even though you could technically just Google it, but I'm just gonna do that to reference my sources correctly. So on Wikipedia it says, the Law of Yonk is a code of conduct known as in Nordic countries that portrays not conforming, doing things out of the ordinary, or being overtly personally ambitious as unworthy and inappropriate. And then it says further, it's used generally in colloquial speech in the Nordic countries as a sociological term to denote a condescending attitude towards individuality and personal success. The term refers to a mentality that denigrates individual achievement and places all emphasis on the collective. So basically how I would describe it and how I've experienced this thing, and I wanted to talk about this because this is a negative thing about Norway or Scandinavia in general. And the reason why I want to talk about something negative is because I know that Norway and the Scandinavia in general is often praised a lot in the media and like in Canada and in different countries. That's not to say that it's not a great country. I love Norway, but I also want to highlight some of the negatives of this country, because it's not all obviously sunshines and lollipops. It's also negative stuff. And so I don't know, this is one particular that I feel like really affected me when I grew up here and stuff. So basically what this is, or how I describe this, is that people, if someone starts doing something different or something new or something that not everyone's doing, or is becoming more successful and kind of is a high achiever, they're likely to get comments like, oh, she thinks she's better than us, or she thinks she's better than everyone else. More so than I saw when I was in Canada, because like it says in the quotes I read, that there's more emphasis on the collective. So this guy, Aksel Sandemose, sorry, I'm just gonna say it in Norwegian. Aksel Sandemose stated like 10 rules, and they all kind of state the same thing, or like they're kind of saying the same thing basically. You're not to think you're anyone special or that you're better than other people, so everyone's, I mean, I guess in a way it's good because no one's really better than anyone else, but the way it's portrayed is more like, you know, you can't be proud of what you're doing. That's how I've experienced it personally in Norwegian culture. Is like when I was younger, a lot of the time if you said anything like, oh, I can do this, or like you could do something different than other people, people would be like, oh, you're bragging, like, oh my god, are you bragging? Like that was like an insult, so you were like always kind of like, what's it called, shut down if you achieved anything. And I just experienced that totally differently in Canada. Anyways, I'm gonna get to that later on. I don't know why I started mentioning that now. But the 10 rules that Aksel Sandemose states is: 1, you're not to think you're anything special. 2, you're not to think you are as good as we are. 3, you're not to think you're smarter than we are. 4, you're not to imagine yourself better than we are. 5, you're not to think you know more than we do. 6, you're not to think you're more important than we are. 7, you're not to think you are good at anything. Holy fuck. Oh my god, that's so bad. 8, you're not to laugh at us. 9, you're not to think anyone cares about you. What the fuck? Okay, it's just getting darker and darker. I didn't actually read for these before now. 10, you're not to think you can teach us anything. I mean, sometimes I question why I'm so fucked up, and it's like, no wonder, just kidding. And then it says, sorry, I'm just gonna keep kind of commenting and reading off this Wikipedia page. And it says, the Yanters who transgress this unwritten law are regarded with suspicion and some hostility, as it goes against the town's communal desire to preserve harmony, social stability, and uniformity. So as I was reading it, there's 2 different perspectives. One is that it's toxic, and another one is that it's used to kind of keep harmony and this like social cohesion basically, and not have chaos. And to an extent I get that, but also this is fucking toxic. Mind you, it is changing kind of, I feel, with social media and the world kind of becoming smaller. I feel like people are not as Janteloven. Fuck, that's the Norwegian like way of bending the verb. People aren't as much like this law, is what I'm trying to say. However, I was gonna talk about my personal experience with it. So I find in Norway, and I can say this because I lived in Canada for 4 years, I find that people are very quick to put you in a box if you're different, or if you're good at something, and you're actually almost like likely to be bullied or like closed off, or like, I'm thinking in Norwegian, stengt ute. You're more likely to be held out of the group, or like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's just not exactly the same as the Norwegian word I was thinking of. But you're more likely to be bullied or something like that if you're good at something, or if you're different. Like, I know for example, I remember people saying, and this is so fucked and hilarious, I remember once after like an English class, someone like said, because I learned English first, I actually struggled with Norwegian when I first started school, or like kindergarten and stuff. Side note, my mom's Canadian, my dad's Norwegian, and so that's why I learned English first, even though I grew up in Norway, because my mom taught English to me as a kid, and so I couldn't really help knowing English pretty well, because that's the first language I learned. So that's why this is hilarious. I just found a report actually from when I was in kindergarten, and it said I would be kind of like more by myself and stuff, and probably because I didn't know the language and stuff, so I wasn't included. Anyways, I remember someone saying like, because my English was pretty good, I guess, or like better than the other kids when I was younger, because I knew English first or whatever. Anyways, and then someone said afterwards like, oh, you think you're so much better than us, don't you? And I'm like, I don't think that. Like, I mean, maybe I am, but that doesn't mean that I think I'm so much better than you in like a moral way. Like, it's just like comments like that, and then constantly growing up, whenever it would be, anyone would say anything good about themselves or something they're good at, it's like, oh, you're bragging, oh my god, you're bragging, and it's like, that was a serious like insult. It was just such a common thing, so every time you had some sort of achievement, or something you were doing, I guess, better than other people, it was like, oh, you're bragging, and you're not allowed to brag, because that's a bad thing. You can't brag, you can't like be proud of your achievements. So it's like now when I think of it, it's so fucked up, and I'm like, so anyways, here's my story basically. So I went to Canada to study, if you didn't know, for 4 years, and it was just totally different. I remember I was starting to get pretty good grades, and I remember like kind of talking to a friend about it, and I was like, oh, but I don't want to brag, you know, I don't want to really talk about it too much or whatever. And then they'd be like, why? Like, you should be proud of those grades, like you should, like, you know, and it was just kind of a cultural disconnect. And I remember one time specifically, me and my friend were going to a party and I pole dance. And I like doing street polling, so going to like, sorry, I'm looking at the neighbors all the time. There's like street polling, so you go to like, you know, traffic signs and shit, and you do pole dancing. And I was like, oh, I'm so tempted to go and like pole dance. And then my friend was like, why don't you? And I was like, I just don't want to, you know, brag or whatever. And she's like, that's not like bragging, and it's not like a negative thing. Like, you can do that. It's super cool. And I'm like, there was just like a cultural disconnect. Like, people are more allowed to be different and more allowed to brag about their it looks like I'm naked. More allowed to brag about their achievements in Canada. However, like I said, I'm not bashing Norway and Scandinavia. This is just a cultural thing, and it is changing, I would say. It has been changing as I've been growing up, I think. We're going into more of a social media age where we're realizing where we're sharing more, and like cultures are starting to like take things from each other, and I feel like people are more able to be different and more able to be proud of their achievements now in Norway, which I'm really happy about. But growing up, it was pretty harsh when I think back, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, I don't know what more to say about it. I don't know if I even explained it properly. Like, I feel like it's one of those things that you can't really know or get a real feel for unless you like live in Norway or live in, I guess Sweden or Denmark have the same thing. Yeah, and oh, and there's, I don't know if I mentioned, like, people are kind of put into boxes. I think I did. Fuck, my brain. People are kind of put into boxes, like, I know. Oh, and there's another thing. I remember in high school, me and my friends would talk English together because we were in an English program, and we just like talking English together, and we're all kind of different people. So we all were, like, in our own little group or whatever. And I remember I had this thing called Ask.fm. I think, I don't know if you guys in other countries had that. You basically ask anonymous questions, or you could just honestly write anonymous comments. And I remember some people saying like, oh, you guys think you're so much better than us because you talk English, and like, you know, you're so different. And it's just like disgusting when you think of it, like that people discourage being different and discourage diversity. And so yeah, I don't know, I guess that's all. I wish I could explain it better. I feel like this video is kind of all over the place, but it's kind of to be expected when I haven't filmed for a while and then I film. I feel like I'm just all over the place, and I feel like I probably should have planned this more, but yeah, I wanted to show some of the dark side of Norway. And yeah, now I feel like I am able to be proud, and I'm able to be loud and like fucking not give a shit, because I feel like moving to Canada, I just kind of like realized that I don't have to be quiet. I don't have to not be loud and be proud, I guess. And yeah, I'm gonna be loud. I'm gonna be a fucking obnoxious bitch. Just kidding. No, I don't know. I hope no Norwegians take offense to this, because like I said, it has changed. It's much better now. But I'm sure a lot of you guys, when you actually think of it, and perhaps if you moved somewhere else in the world, you'd realize that this is a thing and this is not good. Anyways, I'm just babbling at this point. I thought it would be interesting to do these kind of cultural things. Yeah, I think next thing I'm gonna do is fun facts about Norway. So if you're a Norwegian watching this and you have any fun facts I should include, let me know. Because, I don't know, it'll be fun to kind of let you know fun facts. Other than this thing, there's a lot of many positive things about Norway. Like, Norway is one of the happiest countries in the world and all this stuff, so I'm not bashing my own country. But it's not all sunshines and lollipops. Sunshine and rainbow? I don't even know. Okay, I'm gonna go. Yeah, have a nice day. Bye!